all sorts of interesting things. All of this on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Yes.
Jump right in. What the fuck?
Yes to that introduction.
What better
yes
intro?
Yes to life. Yes, universe.
You're welcome for
abundance.
all these great things on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
It's a twofer. It's a double. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. I have to start with an apology.
What?
I was supposed to be here half an hour ago.
Oh, you are not. No, I'm not even going to allow this to occur. You're not even going to allow. Do I? No. Try it again. Try it again. Go.
This morning,
No, you're not allowed. No.
Can I tell you what happened?
No. Yes, you can tell what happened, but you don't get to say.
I am racing to get ready to record, and I get a FaceTime call from my daughter who is at camp to wish me the happiest of birthdays.
See?
So I look at the clock and I look at the phone and the clock on the phone, and I'm like, I haven't seen my baby. So I
don't even understand why there was a thought process involved.
Well, because I knew I had to be somewhere and I needed to know when I needed to apologize.
Your daughter.
I know.
Everything else, it's called punt, and then back you come. That's it. Big deal.
Yeah,
and plus,
it was nice.
And plus, it was me. Here's a pro tip. I'm late a lot, so I don't like it. I don't want to be. I work to improve it, and I am actually quite improved over my original, my factory setting antics of lateness. I've done significant upgrades.
I love that lateness is your factory setting.
It is. I
love that. I've improved on the factory setting.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
That's
normally
a quality upgrade.
It's
a third-party add-on.
Look at that. I like that. As opposed to the leaky sunroof that you get in a car. This one's really good. This is a good one.
Better than manufacturer's original parts. Indeed. We love it.
Do you ever trust a third-party add-on to your car?
Yes, I do, because I don't really care about cars, and because some of them are good. So I'm not totally terrified. It depends on the item as well. If it's going directly, well, that's not even fair if it's going directly in the engine. I do trust it because this is a terrible example, but it's one that everybody sort of gets when you say it. There's Intel inside. I mean, at a certain point, people specialize in what they're doing.
Right.
There's a Hemi engine, so some of those things are okay. But it depends on the third party. I'm trying to remember who it is. I'm looking over to see if I have it on my desk. It's not Anchor. Whoever the secondary market charger for your iPhone products and all your Apple products. Some of them are good. Belkin. Some of them are good, and some of them are like squeegee cop. Like you don't want squeegee cop.
I saw on a TikTok. Everything I get is from TikTok. I saw on a TikTok that when a police officer pulls you over, they touch the back of your car as they're going to your window at the side of the road, and it says, do you know why cops do this? And they showed like 30 people walking past the trunk of your car and putting their hand on it, and then they keep walking. It's to leave their fingerprints there in case something happens. What kind of job do you have to have where you need to think every day that you need to leave DNA or...
And my other favorite thing is that they put their hand on the trunk of the car to see if they can feel the vibration of a body in the trunk of the car. Like it's some sort of it's some kind of cop vibe where they're like scanning human body. Like I figure, cops are kind of badass, but yeah, I don't want to be a cop.
Anything could happen to you. Like that's crazy.
Dear listener, too much for us.
What you don't know is not very much. We give you a lot of credit. What you don't know is that I have seen Amy since our last record. And I mean in flesh. The flesh in the flesh. Dude, yeah. She actually sat at the island in my kitchen after she went through my refrigerator and cabinets and created the most beautiful display of food I didn't know I had as she hosted at my house, which is one of the best things about Amy is not only does she like to make things pretty when she serves and she entertains, but she does it at your house too. And it is the way to we're having a few people over. I don't know what to do. Invite Amy over first. If she knew she had to do it, she would have brought flowers as well. But she did not know. This was a surprise to her. And then the next thing I know, 3 separate types of cheeses I didn't know I had were crumbled and
we need to
sliced
stop right
and
there.
shaved.
We need to stop right
fruit
there.
Was all sliced up and oils and
the amount of cheese
were
that
poured.
You have in your refrigerator.
Oh, I know. We love cheese.
You are a threat to Costco. The amount of cheese that you have in your refrigerator.
We get our money's worth.
I thought I liked me some cheese. You got some cheese, gal.
Yeah.
You got some crazy cheese.
In all forms.
I sliced cheese and put it out on the counter. I mean, as you do. It's nothing. I sliced some cheese. I put it out. Your husband came along, took out more cheese, and started eating it. And he said, we have this kind. And I said, yes, I've sliced it. It's there on the table. So he didn't recognize sliced Jarlsberg because I sliced it thinly. And he's used to breaking it off like a Cro-Magnon man and eating it like a block of ice. I've never seen anybody. He takes the wedge of Jarlsberg and snap the end of the point off and goes, kang, 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 kang. That's a lot of cheese.
He usually microwaves it. So it's like gelatinous and he eats it that way as well.
Oh, my.
Look, he only eats protein most of the time. So however he can get it in his body,
So I got to go back. He microwaves the Jarls. Please tell me it's in some sort of a container. He doesn't just slab it.
Yeah, he puts it in a bowl.
Well, I figured he would throw it in there, shut it closed. We in the trailer park now. It's cheese night. Woo!
And he can pour it over stuff.
Fondue. Yeah.
It's gross.
No, I it's like a raclette it's like a convenience raclette. Very nice in the microwave. Okay, you got a lot of cheese. Is what I'm saying.
I do. And you discovered it when on a run-of-the-mill travel weekend for lacrosse, your tiny nugget, who we discussed is not tiny, brought you up north. So I got to see you maybe a little longer than you had hoped, but still we got a chance to visit in person, which was just really necessary. I really felt like it was necessary. We also had a friend from the West Coast who came for a few days, so we all got to spend a little time together, and it was really like mental health is what it was. It was really nice. So I want to thank you for coming over and entertaining at my home.
I want to thank you for making that happen. I know you say it all the time. It almost can be interpreted that you don't really mean it because you say it all the time. I have this
what do you mean?
I have this huge house for people who don't know. It can almost come off like she's just saying that shit. Oh, let's go for a walk tomorrow. Yeah, that's no. What she really means is yes. I'm not going for a walk with you tomorrow. And no matter when I say it, no matter when tomorrow is, I'm not doing it. So you can just cross that one off. That's just a nice thing to say. It's like, hi, how are you? We're not going for a walk tomorrow. No, whenever that time comes, we're not going. But when it is time to go to Missy's house, you're going. You're super going, and there's a full bed and bath waiting for you and 3 snuggly pups who, frankly, if you give them a dog treat, that's it. That's it.
They're
you
yours.
Got some easy whores up in your house because that shit goes cheap. Wasn't even a whole treat. I snapped that shit in half, and they're like, what do you want? I will lay down and show you my privates. I'm here for you. I got a half a biscuit in me. That's it. That's all I need. I'm ready to go.
The funniest part was Amy did have biscuits in her pocket at different parts of the day. And as she's leaving, she says, look, I just slept in that bed. You don't necessarily need to change the sheets, but yet you do. Because when I slept, I had crumbs from cookies in my pocket.
Shorts. I couldn't be bothered to unzip the bag. And I have like a little... I have sleep shorts. I have like a whole thing when I'm at somebody's house because you never know if you have to bounce up in the middle of the night or there's some disco party happening. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. I didn't want to deal with it. So I just climbed into the bed with what I was wearing. I sorted out in the morning. So I did have shorts filled with doggy cookie crumbs.
Cookie bits.
And I woke up like, ooh, this is a sandy little beach house bed. Yeah, I kind of fouled your sheets.
That I created.
I didn't mean to do that. But
they are all changed and ready for your next visit.
Look how nice you are.
My mother said to me, because it's my mother, why do you tell people they could stay at your house? You know, people are going to say yes. You know, they're going to take you up on it. And I said, that's actually why I say that. So that when people are traveling, because Amy said it, there are like 2 areas of our house which kind of are their own little suite. Like you have a king size bed in one and your own bathroom. And that's kind of my objection to staying anywhere else. I think if you've listened to any episodes of this podcast, you know that like toileting could possibly be, especially with an away game of eating foods that you're not used to and whatever you're going through. Toileting is kind of an issue. I'd like to have some privacy if I can, or not have to use a bathroom that's just off the kitchen where everybody's still eating. Community. So I understand the desire for privacy when you're doing, let's say, private things. I don't ask you to have sex in my kitchen or kitchen adjacent. Why would you ask me to shadoobie kitchen adjacent? It just seems like... So these 2 areas, both the basement, there's its own bathroom and its own bedroom and living room, and upstairs there's another area. Why wouldn't you want to stay somewhere comfortable where you know you have a full refrigerator with way too much cheese, and especially when you're hosty like you are? That's really a good word for you, hosty. You're very hosty.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I love it.
You're delightful.
I love it. Well, it's easy to do in your house and in your world. You guys are super stocked. You have it on every single floor. There's a new capacity of, you have to go on walks. You have to go on a food tour. What would you like to drink? Do you mind a little walk? That was the question to me.
Oh, right. Beverages
No, I don't. I don't mind a little walk. So we walk over to the wine cabinet. Then we go to the liquor area. Then we go downstairs to the chilled beverages section that also includes beer and sparkling dzingazanga. It kept going. It kept going. There was a lot. And I don't even feel like you guys drink. That's what was so funny.
That's why we still have it. Because
I know you're like a Smirnoff factory or whatever the fuck. You've got so much stuff in there.
Yeah, we would have depleted all of it had we been drinkers in the first place. But so she said to me, "Why do you tell people they can?" And I say this because she invites me when we go to Florida, our family, to stay at her house, and
she thinks she's really saying, "Let's go for a walk tomorrow."
No fucking way am I staying at your house. It's just never going to happen. I am more comfortable at a hotel than I am in your house. And for me, my purpose is to be the exact opposite of that. For people to say, it's just easier to drop our bags at Melissa's and use it that way.
I got to backtrack. You are talking about your own mother, right?
She invited me to stay at her house.
You won't stay in your own mother's house. You will stay in a hotel.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And that's whether you have your children with you or not. Like the children with you is a totally different wild card dynamic, not even worth talking about because it changes the whole thing. If it's you and seeing your mother, who theoretically you lived with for a period of time.
Yeah, I would say almost 18 years, yeah.
Yeah. And now you're like, that's 18 too many. Fuck all y'all. I'll see you for dinner.
Just enough. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know they do that when they come to us too. We know that if there's an opportunity for us to be in the same place, they choose a hotel as well.
Even the way you're talking about it, it's like you're negotiating with terrorists. So it's, if there's an opportunity for us to be in the same city, we may, through a third party, gather at a neutral location.
Yes. But
I have a coworker like that. I had a coworker like that. He has a great relationship with his parents, but
this might be why.
No, he says their method of parenting. I think I have this vision of them being like doctors or whatever. But basically, when it was playtime with the kids, they would be sitting on the couch with like a low ball glass ice in it, and they would observe the children playing on the floor. That's the level of participation. He's like, yeah, we're great to go out for cocktails. We're great to go out for dinner. There's no sideline sitting. There's no gathering for the birthday party.
Right, meet us at a park.
I'll send you a check. Yeah, that's... We can meet at the yacht club. Like, that's it.
I'm fine with the check. These days, I know better. I'm fine with the check. You participate as much as you are capable of participating.
All right.
I told you, my brother taught me, not expect less, expect nothing. And anything you get is a pleasant surprise.
That's a nice
Expect
idea.
nothing. And this is your family you're talking about. But yeah, that's how it goes for us.
No, but you stay at your brother's house. He's a regular human.
I don't stay at my brother's house.
If you had the opportunity to stay at your brother's house, would you stay at his house?
No, I would stay at a hotel.
Do you ever stay at anyone's house? I can't think of a house you've stayed at that you don't own. I'm not putting you on the spot as much as I'm putting you on the spot. I just don't remember it.
I stay at my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house.
You'll stay in a vacation home that lots of people are staying in.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen that. I've participated.
It's happened.
You've been down the hall from me. I've participated in this.
I've been in
it's
a room
hotel
with you.
adjacent. Yes, I know about those. Yes. But yeah, I can't think of any other.
So while we're sitting at the island in my kitchen,
yes,
Amy says, "Oh, what is this device that we are discussing right now?"
Oh, I sure did.
And I was having a side conversation with our friend Sarah, and Amy starts to get a little flushed. And I say, "Hey, Aim, what we got there on your phone?" I'm intrigued to say.
Well, you got to watch your step when you're with these friends. Ladies, let me just start out by saying I had a very long weekend, arrived at their house, and it was all girl time all around. We had the gents picking up food for us. We were alone at the counter. The dogs were relaxed. The alcohol was pre-poured. We just had to sit and smile. And after a few very relaxing drinks, magically, people start grabbing each other's phones. And then even more magically, things like brand new vibrators start showing up in your cart. So
three of them, not one.
What are you doing? They're not cheap. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
They're not cheap.
They're not. It was
the good ones never are
a piece. Yeah, well, I mean, theoretically, it's worth it. But no, unfortunately, I was able to cancel that sale. I haven't renewed this. Did you buy it? Did you buy the vibrator?
I did not buy it.
Okay, you guys. So
I did on your phone.
We shouldn't even call it a vibrator. The reason we were talking about it, well, do we need a reason? The reason we were talking about it is because it's not a vibrator. It's a new functional device, right? I mean, you think vibrator, you're in the category. Okay, I know what it looks like. I know what it's supposed to do. I actually know where to put it. So these things are all clear. This new one looks like a computer mouse with a suction hole on the front. Hey,
on the underside.
That's a new one. That's new to me, guys.
Where the roller ball goes on your mouse.
Guess what goes there?
Hole.
Guess what goes there? Guess what goes there?
It's an open sucky hole.
Click, 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 click. Yeah, I could check. Yeah, 3 in the cart.
So I thought, well, again, we were compromised mentally. So I thought if she's browsing, I might as well make sure that she gets further emails from this company, number one, and by giving her email address and registering with them for further info.
All the fucking time.
But why should you just get one? All 3 of us should have had one, so I put 3 in the cart.
Well, for those who can't wait for our Facebook group, for us to post this in there in Brillob Squad on Facebook, I will just spill all the tea. So it is Laura DiCarlo, LORADI, Carlo. You know how to spell that. LauraDiCarlo.com. Sounded like something else. Hey. And the device in question is called the Baci, which of course means kiss. So you figure it out. So, I mean, it's evidently all part. Emma Watson, is that Hermione? Did I get her right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, you got the name of an actress right?
I looked it up. Prior to starting talking. Okay. I had to look up the vibrator because I couldn't remember who had it or what it was or where it goes and all the rest of it. I do learning. I learn. I'm a learning robot.
Learning. Just not English.
I put it in. It goes in my brain. Stays in there the whole time.
Right.
Sometime maybe I'll recall it. So I was looking up that information so I could mention it here to these people. And one of the people who endorses this very clicky dicky is Hermione Hymen. What's her fucking name?
Oh my God.
What's her
That is the Emma Watson, but that is the best name I have ever heard in my life. Hermione Hymen. She's the Jewish girl from around the corner. Hermione Hymen. That's my next dog.
I am here for you, and I am here to tell you that I actively scrolled past without flying into a rage that there's an article with Goop to Poop, Gwyneth Paltrow, actively demonstrating how to use her vibrator because now the trend is sexual wellness. So Emmy is on the sexual wellness train with the little mouse click, suck a dick, whatever the thing is. But Gwyneth has got to take it to the next level, with the scents and the insertions and the Christmas trees. God,
So you light her vagina candle.
She's so gross.
And then you take out her special vibrator?
And then you involve Santa Claus because she just can't be stopped.
Gross. Right, because she wants you to put it in your stocking. That wasn't getting gross, I promise.
Well, Hermione, what's her name? Emma
Watson. Hermione Hymen. That's my next dog. I'm not kidding. I'm
That's
naming
her
my
porn
next dog. Oh my God. Hermione.
So none of that's on the board. I'm just telling you. That's what's going on over here.
You wound up staying a little longer than you would have liked due to the fact that there was a mishap with your car. You were at the field and some kids were playing around with their lacrosse sticks and big rocks, and one of the rocks got away from them. Probably the people who finished last in the tournament, as they can't keep a rock in their stick, and it went through your rear windshield. So we called, this is not a sponsor of ours, but they should be, Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
Oh, this is my favorite. Yeah.
You're welcome, listener. You will be singing that the rest of the day.
On your life.
And your life. So we get a text from them that says, we'll be there 7/2, bye. So we think, they'll be here on 7 July 12th. Okay, that's perfect. But the alcohol, like Amy said, and other treats were flowing. And the next thing you know, we read it the next morning and it says next week we will have this.
Yeah, the 2 was not in the front of the number as we thought. It was in the back of the number. So, or reverse that. We thought it was coming on the 12th, and instead they were coming on the 20th. Yeah, and so when I saw 2 in the number, and I was just so excited.
Pour me another.
Well, here's how this works. You go online, you schedule the service, you pick the date.
Right.
So it's not as if I was waiting lottery style for when are they coming. Like I just thought this confirmation email that said, we will see you on 7/ with a 2 in it. And I'm already, I'm focused on cheese. So in any event.
Oh, wouldn't you be?
In any event, yes. After the air quotes, accidental damage to the rear windshield of the car.
Finish that sentence.
I had a little extra time. And a little extra frustration, if I'm honest. So we took advantage of all of that with some vibrator talk and some magic gummies and some cheese and some scrambled eggs and all the things.
I have to tell you, we've done 2 podcasts in the past that have had you talking almost erotically about making scrambled eggs or eggs of any type. And my husband definitely said to me, these are the best eggs I've ever had in my whole life. After, again, dear listener, she made eggs in the morning. Melissa, aren't you hosting? Yes, I supplied the air conditioning, the canines, the dog treats, and
the human treats.
Cheese and fruit.
Yes,
fruit, cheese and fruit. So yes, we, and lots of food. But other than that, no, Amy did the hosting. Thank God.
I'm here to tell you.
Hermione Hymen.
He ate those eggs like he was
making love out of nothing at all,
really enjoying himself, and it was a magic to behold. Really, it was so flattering because I'm like, it's eggs, and he kept saying, "What did you put in these? What did you do to these? What happened? Did you make these?" And I'm like,
magic gummies. There are magic gummies in there.
Did you use our pan? And I'm like, yes.
Did you use our pan?
No, I brought my own pan.
I didn't change my pants from last night, but I brought a pan.
I'm standing here wearing dog treat shorts. Yes. And I can't read a text from Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace. Yeah, so now I've stayed here, even though I would have anyway. I've stayed here for no reason. I'm supposed to already be on the road, and I'm wondering, why are they an hour late for the first available appointment? Why is that? Why? Anyway, the eggs were quite good. And
I said they were amazing.
I admit, I make some good eggs. I'll take that.
They said they were, like, it was like watching porn, watching him eat this. It was so great.
It kind of was.
Yeah, it was nice. I dug it. I was like, okay, she's welcome here anytime. And Mom, that's why I have people over, because I learn things and it makes my husband happy.
There you go.
And I like certain people. Eggs
are foreplay. I get things done. What can I say to you? There you go.
I do like eggs. We have started creeping out of our quarantini life, and we've been going to dinner with some friends occasionally. In our outness. I know you have as well. You've met up with a couple of couples. You're doing a little traveling for for lacrosse and seeing people. And, you know, we've talked about how we cut people out of our lives that are really not, you only have friends that support and are positive and are good.
No, I'm just laughing because you've been seeing a lot of people and it's really positive and uplifting. And you know how we cut people out of our lives. Yeah. So I've started a new list and we're going to go through it one by one.
So the people that we're starting to see, I realized after we saw a couple of couples, I'm like, how did you creep back on the list? Because you're a fucking know-it-all, and I cannot sit across a table from a fucking know-it-all.
Do you really have know-it-all friends? Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a husband-wife combo, and he's delightful, and she's a fucking know-it-all. And I sat there and I thought, oh, right. We're here for him. We're here so that my husband can have friends and be delightful. But I don't know why you need to argue, or I think I learned at 19, 20 that it's okay to say things like, I did not know that. And really? Where did you read that? I would love to find out more about that. Or you don't have to argue every point. And I don't know why I didn't know it until 19 or 20, but how much do you think my life got better after I figured out that you don't have to know everything, have the right answer, or let's look into that. And then you have children and who ask all ridiculous questions that nobody ever would have thought of in the first place. And you say, let's look that up. It's okay. And it's also okay to know something and not to belittle the people you're with the answer. Like, that's also okay. If you know differently, it's okay to step away from the conversation without smacking him in the face with some facts and some opinions. And my list got smaller, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
That's crazy. I only have one friend who I would classify as a know-it-all. And it's kind of an extended friend. So it's not somebody that I see all the time.
Okay.
So I find her know-it-allness quite charming. She doesn't really do it in the way I feel like there's probably grades and shades of know-it-all, because the know-it-all that you're talking about, it sounds like I have to remind you that you don't know it all. That's my job.
But do you? Do you remind them? Is that
no?
something?
That sounds like your annoying person, right?
Yeah, okay.
My annoying person is, I think, completely unaware that she comes off as, I am the expert on all topics, and the reason I am the expert on all topics is because I have been chosen by the universe to be the expert on all topics. Celebrate sitting with me, dear friends. We shall enjoy my intelligence together. So she's just very
that's
confident.
Delightful. I would love
to.
It's
kind of funny. And the other thing is, if she was aware and knew that she was coming off this way or perceived this way,
would she be horrified?
She'd probably dig it. So that gives you an idea of how confident. So I'm like,
interesting.
I want some of your spooky confidence, because fuck. Yeah, so it's great. So I find it all charming because it doesn't come after me. It's just like, I can take this for a little while, and then I need to maybe step back. I mean, I love ice cream. I can't eat it every day, every meal. You made a big face. I can't eat nothing but ice cream.
Okay,
right.
That's fine. But I think I could eat it every day.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're like, enough with the ice cream. Right, so that's where it is. But yeah, that's very different.
Like we have a couple of friends in Maine who know a lot. Right? They are super, super, super bright people. I never get the impression from them. I never get the impression from them that they're know-it-alls, and I never want to punch them in the face. Like, I learn when I'm with them, and I enjoy that. And I'm like, hey, I wonder let's go ask those maniacs if they know.
On a good day, they work like Google. And here's the thing about Google.
Yeah.
Google doesn't come into your kitchen like Alexa and start telling you facts. You have to ask Google for what you want, and then Google will answer you with the correct information.
Google doesn't.
I love Google.
And Alexa.
Love Google.
Right. And Siri, they don't come into your home and say, the thumb is not a finger, it's a digit. And I sat there.
A hot dog is not a sandwich. It's like, really?
Okay. You know what? Like, I thought they're all digits, and a thumb is a finger, but fingers aren't thumbs. Like, why are we having this conversation?
I'm glad you have a doctorate in digital sciences, meaning your fingers.
What is wrong with you? Like, it was enough for me. It was enough.
A thumb is not a finger? Really?
I can't. I don't want to go back. And now, if you're a listener, I've loved you for a very long time. I love your family. I can't. This is why. And now Stuart's going to kill me.
No, that's the whole point. We love people. We love friends. They are the closest people in our universe. And we never call them on their stupid, stupid shit. Why is that? Why is that? It's so easy to look across the table and say, enough with the thumbs and fingers. Stick those thumbs and fingers up your bagungus, because we're going to talk about actual things,
right?
And not this stupid
where you would call your spouse or children on their bullshit. You would not call your friends, you're saying?
I just feel like there are a lot of times when it's, I don't want to say it's easier, because it's not. It's actually harder and worse. It inflates the problem. But for whatever reason, everyone seems to sidestep, ignore, actively not engage in the very quick, probably uncomfortable conversation with a friend, not just because they could use it. This is like the know-it-all would say, I'm going to call my friends on their bullshit because I know better for them. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a know-it-all. Calling your friends on their shit is when they're actively doing things to you that you don't want, but you don't want to say to them because you just don't want to fight and you know what they're going through. You know what I mean? Things like stupid things, like if they're ghosting you or they refuse to answer a real question that you're having, or they don't want to engage. And I'm trying to come up with other examples that aren't about conversation, but it's, you know what I mean? It would be so easy just to have that conversation, and then you level up deeper with every single thing.
Level up. But do you feel like there's going to be an answer that will satisfy you when you say things like, how come when I text you sometimes you don't answer? I'm clearly not texting you into the ether.
And there's a pattern. You'll never answer if I ask about this, or that. And it's not that you don't want to put it in writing. It's like, that topic is dead to me. I never received this text. Like I saw you did. It says read when the text was sent. You're my friend. Your phone is next to me. I saw you pick up the phone while I'm looking at you, and you put it back down when we're in the movie theater. Like I'm just saying, there are things that friends do.
You feel like you're not going to get? I mean, isn't that answer enough that they didn't answer, or is because I do feel like I'm one of those people who, I'll get a text, I will nod, it'll evoke an emotion, it'll be happiness, it'll be, oh, I'm now informed, it'll be something. Some I feel don't require answers, and I think people who send those texts realize they don't require answers, but others are hitting topics that I'm not prepared to talk about yet. So I put it off, and while putting it off, it kind of disappears, and then it's like 10 screens down on my phone, and I never get back to it. So I think I might be the friend you're talking about right now, and I'm a little nervous.
No, and I don't do a whole lot of texting of important things. I get frustrated when I text something, when I have a real question, and I text it, or I have a real question in a conversation, because text is harder to say because you don't really do a lot of real stuff over text, because then you got a written record. So
it's also the least productive way to communicate, because tone and
a lot of times. So when I'm in that conversation, when I really do legitimately trying to work something out, or I need an answer, or I'm looking for the real feedback, and the feedback falls into that category of, I ain't touching that shit. I'm not gonna. And so I would just rather, I don't have an example in mind, rather have that friend say, I don't want to, this, I feel like I can't talk about that. Or, you know what I mean? Just acknowledge it to me, because the whole, let me refill your coffee, like that, I can't, that whole sidestep thing feels super dismissive. But is that smarter to be, because I don't do that. I also don't really know how to do that. It doesn't occur to me to do that. It doesn't occur to me to tell a lie. Like I have to think about lying and plan it. And you know what I mean? I tell the truth to my detriment all the time. So that's what I'm saying. My go-to move is to just answer it with whatever comes out of my mouth. A lot of times that's a bad move too. So maybe what I'm responding to here is a little bit of jealousy, awareness that I don't like it because I don't know how to do it. I wish I did, but it does hurt feelings.
For me personally, there are people in my life that I will text, not for the text back, because I know I'm not going to get it. I know that I saw a TED Talk a while back that said to communicate with your children, the best thing you could do is to text, because phone calls aren't answered. Text goes directly from eyes to brain. They read all their texts. They survive through their phones. So they absolutely saw and processed what you wrote the same way you're saying your friends did. So I know I'm in your head for a split second with my thought. I know I got my thing across. I would love an answer. Yeah, sure, of course. But I know that my point is made kind of thing. You're saying you're asking a question. You're saying you're delving a little deeper into an issue and you're not getting a response and you're not getting follow-up.
I think it all fits into the same category as the one you're talking about. The engagement that's requested, initiated, stunted has to do with one person trying to continue the conversation topic, problem solving, and the other person actively not wanting to.
You don't mind when it gets ugly. You don't mind when it gets messy. But when you're dealing with, I would say 70% of people, they mind. They don't want to get involved in ugly and messy and difference of opinions or opening up. I would say most people do not want to get involved in what you are willing to slug through.
It has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has to do with the topic. The topic is
and
one
how
that they're not prepared. They're not prepared to get into it. So I feel like I'm the one getting shut out when what I should be looking at is it's probably this topic is not ready for talking yet. It's still in the oven, right? It's not ready for looking yet. We're not going to touch this topic. Please leave. So I get that. But part of it, too, is calling your friends on their bullshit when they do things specifically to you that you don't like, that you've asked them not to do, and they keep doing it.
Like
and
what?
Then I wish I could come up with a sort of a great example.
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
I have one. There's a couple that we see occasionally that as we're crawling out, where they're going to be on the docket, right? They're going to be on deck for a dinner, and I know it's coming. And
they're in the VIP club.
The husband always comments about how I don't have a job.
What?
Outside of our home. He always comments about,
that's not good.
Well, you don't work, so what are you going to do? Or he always, and they're lovely, lovely until he hits, for me, what is probably a sore nerve.
That's a perfect example. Because you absolutely don't deserve to have that keep happening. And
every time we go out.
And he does not deserve to keep saying it without the knowledge that he's being a raging dickhole. He might not know, right? So it's a two-way. I guess what I'm getting at is when it's a two-way street, why do we not participate on our side of the street?
Why don't I say, look, buddy, every time you say that, I end our dinner. And maybe you haven't noticed that you discussing how I'm kind of worthless in the middle of dinner is my least favorite part of seeing you.
Talking about how I spend my time sounds to me like you are insulting me and belittling me and
this is fucking therapy
and disrespecting everything about my life. So I don't like you talking about how I spend my time. I don't need to judge how I spend my time by your measurement.
All right. So you say this at dinner, okay?
Yeah.
You say this when everybody's like 2 martinis in, and that's because that's when it happens. What do you think happens after you say, look, here's how what you're saying makes me feel?
I think your very good friend will look across the table with a sheet white face and say, I'm so embarrassed. I had no idea. The way that I think about you spending your time is luxurious, and I'm a little jealous of it, and my perspective is totally different. I'm so glad you told me this. I don't want to insult you. What I thought we were doing was just teasing each other. I didn't think this was a trigger. I didn't think this was something. Why would I hurt your feelings? I love you. Can I get you another bread basket? What's next?
That is my love language.
Because at the dinner table, I feel like there's going to be some jokey leading up to it where you can joke back a little sharper, where he can maybe see some red flags from your side of the road, right? If he's not reading the red flags either, the funnel narrows until you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm going to hurt your feelings, Bob. You ready? I mean, it was coming. It was coming. I tried to tell you. I slowed you down. I moved your cocktail. I helped you understand, right? We're all humans. We've communicated before. You still don't get it? I'll draw you a map. Here it comes. I mean, it's like that's, and then that's when this is your friend. So it'll be messy for the 30 seconds. I mean, I don't remember what it was. It was a couple months ago. You had to break news to me that you thought I didn't know, and you were like, here it comes. I'm going to tell you something you don't like, and you busted it out, and I was like, oh. I already knew that, but thank you. And also kind of thank you for being an ice pick straight to my jugular because you thought it would be nicer to tell me something I didn't know. So you're okay with defending the friendship to make sure. Like, if there's something in the ether, like, I don't want you to have this secret going on that everybody knows, but you. Oh, meanwhile, I knew. It wasn't a secret. But thank you for making sure, right? Yeah. Thank you for making sure. So he's your friend. He's your friend, or you wouldn't be eating dinner with him. And if he's not your friend, why are you listening to him make fun of the way you spend your fucking time? Throw that martini in his face and steal his bread.
Again, I like his wife, and when he's not discussing my, I guess, employment failures, I like him too. I don't know, man. It's just a topic that is the ice pick to my jugular. It's really, I mean, I've talked about here, I struggle with what's next. I'm not saying I've never had a job. I've worked pretty hard in my life. I've worked at I would say, you know, Jessica talks about how she's had 39 years, 39 jobs. And you know she didn't work till she was at least 18. So like several of those years had several jobs in them. So yeah, I get that.
The ADD CEO. Yeah, I get it.
All the letters, right? So
let me jump in because I remember saying something. I don't remember what I said. I remember you calling me on this very topic. So it's a serious one. I don't remember what I said. I was making some kind of it wasn't even a joke. I was making some kind of a comment about, something started with, well, you don't work, so you blah, 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 blah. Like, it was just a throwaway thing. And when I said it, I meant it as a definition akin to, well, you have blue eyes, so you need darker sunglasses. That's where I was going. It was not a judgment. But whatever I said and however I said it came out to you as super judgy, and you either made a face or whatever, but did more. You actually said, I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. I want to, and you sort of started a conversation, and we had one, and I was like, oh shit. Well, here, I didn't mean that at all. Here's exactly how I was contextualizing it. And now I know, let's not do that way. We have friends in our circle who love to say things. So you're about 2,000 pounds overweight. How are you going to address that? And that's their way of being really, really loving. That's their way of being, that's their way of being really, really loving. It's their way of being really, really loving. So when you start with that basis of we're all loving, and you've just crossed over into you're my friend, I'm going to call you on your bullshit. That's bullshit. What you're doing right now to me is bullshit, is very different also than me calling you on your bullshit. Like, yeah, your husband's been cheating on you for 17 years and he has to go out the door, right? There's no more of these 3-way sex parties with the neighbors. Kick him out, right? There is no husband in this scenario. I'm just making one up, right? But I just
thought of my neighbors and I thought, I don't think so.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
I think there are two separate situations here.
Yes.
One of this incredibly tight group of friends that we're not willing to write off. And that's an in-person. They're more than family at this point. Because I have family members. Fair. I'm willing to write off some family members. And I really have. Even though he just texted me happy 49th birthday today. And I'm getting all of these texts.
Happy birthday to you. You say it's your birthday. Da-na-na-na-na. We're still going to podcast. Yeah, okay.
Oh, of course. So I think that if you're in person and you're in a situation other than that dinner where I'm 3 sheets, and these are people you love, then yes, it's easier to make a face. I don't actually remember that conversation I had with you.
Good. So whatever it was got resolved. I don't remember it either with any detail, but I know we had one.
I don't remember that.
So the good news is so that was what a relationship is. That's what a friendship is. Something happened you didn't like. You said, yeah, I didn't fucking like that. Okay. We won't do that again. Got it. You do that with sex. I don't want to make our friendship about sex. I'm just saying.
No. So, okay. All right. You took it there. You're having sex and somehow, whoop, that doesn't go there. Right? You're like,
wow.
Let's take a minute. Let's let my heart rate return to the good heart rate and not the I'm about to die heart rate, and then try again. But yes, you do. Should I cut that out? So you do.
I'm just really interested about your sex life now because I think you've been married a long time. Where have you got left to stick it? That's a surprise.
That's not welcome. It's not. It's just not welcome there. So sometimes that happens. You know, when you're in the heat of it, in the thick of it, in the frickle bit.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, in your frickle bit. You don't want it in your frickle bit. So
well, Hermione Hymen says
there's no Hymen there. Output.
Not for a long time, and not for
output
a long
only.
time.
Output only.
I track with everything that you're saying. I think it's one of those many spokes off this conversation. Like it's a variation of what we began talking about, and I get all that. The ghosting, I still think in that situation, there is a list of texts at the ready that shoot out a response to the why silence. The silence to me is more in text form, and I don't even really care about the text because that's not what this is about. But the silence to me is such a rejection. I had to think of what the word is, right? It is a total shutdown, as opposed to even a wow, can't talk now, or, at the bank, call you soon, right? Anything that basically says, I received this personal, intimate, why the fuck are you sending me, all this stuff. At least acknowledge and move on, versus I'm going to pretend that you didn't ask me to bring 6 gallons of ice to your birthday party. Like, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of ghosts are what I was talking. So yes, I get what you're saying. I track with all that. To bring it back to a different facet of this question that I'm curious about your opinion on.
Yeah.
Calling your friends on their bullshit. And I think part of the challenge here is our friends are pretty good people. They're not usually dick faces to us. I love saying dick all the time today. If you had a friend who repeatedly did something that you hate, that irked you, that was uncool, that was super shitty, like if that friend repeatedly smoked half your pack of cigarettes and never replaced it. If that friend, when you traveled, I don't even, because I'm just trying, people don't live together, would take all your shampoo or use all the towels in the house when it's your roommate, or would...
I had a roommate who never volunteered to pay for a meal. I had a roommate who never paid for a meal, never paid for anything.
Or friends. When you go out, they never pay for anything. Let's just use that because that's super relatable.
Yep,
You've got somebody who, for whatever reason, is imbalanced in the contribution area. And financially, they good. Like, there's no reason that they should have T-Rex arms whenever the bill fucking comes.
I can't reach my pockets.
Yeah, but meanwhile, it's like, okay, I guess it's on me again. Like, everybody. So why, instead of you and me talking about this, like we all know and we're nodding, why don't we simply say, I think it's your turn to get the check, or slide it over to the other person, or say, let's all pay for ourselves. We're not going to do a group one.
Or lie and say... Or lie and say, I forgot my wallet.
But why would you lie? That's what I'm getting at. Why? Because let's talk about that. You would be happier to say, oh, I forgot my wallet, douche. It's on you. It's the same result, but it's sort of like asking, you don't want to call your friends directly.
So you're asking, are you looking forward to confrontation? God fucking no. I would just pay for, I wouldn't even say less about, I would pay for the meal. And no, in my head, this person doesn't pay for a meal. So if we're going to do that, why don't you come over here for a sandwich? I'm tired of paying for my meal and yours all the time. Or if I really want to see you, I have to know that when we go out, I'm paying for your meal too. That's just what it is, that you don't reach
and there is no third option to privately, not in the moment, not in a shamey way.
Right. Are you having financial issues?
Have a conversation and say, I just feel like things are imbalanced. This can be a touchy subject, but every time we go out to eat,
I hear what you're saying.
You never pick up the bill.
Are you a human who feels comfortable having those conversations?
But that's not confrontation. That's with a friend. That's not in the checkout line with the person who didn't register your coupon, and now you're in a fist fight and come back, and they're on the news.
Okay, so maybe confrontation isn't the right word, but it's a confrontation. It's not I don't feel comfortable having those. I take in all the information in every room I'm in. Okay. It's only a grown-up thing that I do now, and I'm processing everything I see and everything I think I know. Okay. Now I know that this person, and it influences all my future actions. This person is not one who pays for meals. This person is not one. And then I think in my head, is this person generous of time and spirit? Is this person like, why am I even hanging out with this person if they're not giving me? So I'm taking in all of the factors. And if I'm still getting enough out of that relationship, I guess I just need to know that if we're going to eat together, then I'll say, why don't we go for a walk around this whatever mile with the dogs? Because that way it's free. I get the best part of our friendship relationship and I don't have to buy you a steak. You don't have to get the surf and turf. It's if it bothers me that much, that if I don't feel I can afford you this week because the cleaning lady's coming, I think I'm going to ask you to do something that costs nothing. Hey, it's movie night at my house. I have microwavable popcorn. Come over and let's watch Hamilton together. Like I will come up with something that doesn't, but I am not one to say, dude, I think I paid the last few times. Can you pick this one up? Like I'm not comfortable with that. I don't see it ever happening. I would rather ghost you and not hang out. Why do we do that is your question. I don't like uncomfortable feelings.
I get, and I'm sort of digging into that a little bit more and
I'm picking at that scab, Melissa. That's where I'm picking. I don't want to be uncomfortable, especially if I think I like you and we're good. I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position to tell me, oh, I didn't realize, or I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable ever. I really don't. There are TikToks about these Karens who freak out in stores, and I can't scroll fast enough to get away from them because it makes me physically uncomfortable to see all of these people, these confrontations.
Totally agree.
They're not for me.
That's sickening. 1,000%. Not at all what this is. Completely agree. I don't want confrontation. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The challenge somewhere in this question, because I put it on there. I was having this thought, put it on the board for us to discuss. And the more we're talking about it, I'm sort of realizing what maybe was in there for me. At what point do you value your own discomfort equal to theirs? That's the trick. Because, right, you're uncomfortable going to eat with this person. You're uncomfortable.
Then I won't do it.
You're uncomfortable. So now you don't get to do something you like to do, which is going to eat with this person because you're uncomfortable also having a conversation that might hurt their feelings.
Yes.
All three.
Yes.
So the way to get around it is to let's have a new ball field. We're going to change the game. We're not going to eat anymore. So I question, isn't that worse than simply trusting?
But it's what I do. Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Because it could resolve
you are,
and
no,
everything. It could turn out well if you broach the top. If somebody came to me for advice, that's the advice I would give them. I would say, if this is an activity you still like to do with them, go ahead and just throw out I think I got it last time. Can you pick this one up? And then they'll realize, oh, it's reciprocity. And my T-Rex arms need to grow a little, reach my pockets and reach my wallet. But for me, I don't know. I don't like being uncomfortable. I would much prefer.
Well, with money, it's always weird. With money, it's always weird. And the good news is we don't have any friends like this.
We don't.
As a matter of fact, I even have opposite friends. I wasn't paying any attention. I was out with a friend. I don't know where we were, what we were doing, doesn't matter. And I went to pay for both of us. And she said, oh, wait, let's just pay for ourselves. She said, then we can go out more. And I looked at her and I was like, okay. Right. She's like, well, we don't have to pay for each other all the time. Let's just pay for ourselves. And I said, okay. And there was no reason not to. So it's like, okay. I had just gotten in the habit of, you know how you do this back, you take somebody because I'm taking you to lunch, train wreck. And so I think we had been doing that a number of times and I was still in that mindset, but it's like, we're over train wreck stage. Now we're just both wrecked. So I'll pay for my trains. You go ahead. So anyway.
I do like that, but we do have wildly generous friends. So I'm never really worried about that.
And nobody takes the money anyway. The other part of it is it almost comes back full circle with our group of friends, including you and your group of friends that I'm not in, etc., where there's reciprocity of generosity. It's you don't think about the lavishness is part of it. That's part of the love. Is today I get to be lavish with my friends, and I'm joyful in that, and I'm not keeping a scorecard. And even when I'm not keeping a scorecard, I'm also really excited for the next time that I go over to your house because you think the same way I do.
Yes.
And you will take joy in being lavish with me. It's not a tit for tat. It's we have similar habits. So anyway, this is all going all over the place. My point being, I feel like there are ways that dinner example is a really interesting example for me, the one that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, because it also, it has a lot to do with, I don't know what he is saying, and I don't know what you are hearing and feeling. I guarantee he's saying the wrong thing, and you are totally in the right, and you should fucking call him on it. That's what I already know without even fucking hearing it. Having said that, it's a sensitive topic. If somebody was talking to me about my weight, or I pick anything, you probably have a long clipboard full of all my sensitive topics, and I don't know what they are.
And
so
my own, yeah.
You could tell. Well, I don't know what mine are, but you would. You'd be able to say, "Here it is," and I'd be like, "Oh, ouch! Yes, that's it. Let's stop discussing." So,
why did you raise children who hide pounds of cheese under their bed?
3 pounds of cheese. 3 pounds of cheese
again.
God Almighty! We had a second cheese mishap. And this one is my own fucking making. It was my own fucking making. I bring little snacks to the lacrosse tents, and I try to make them nice because I try to make them nice. So I do little inventive snacks, and there's a whole big, long, drawn-out drama about that nonsense. In any event, I fully thought through what I believed to be a great idea. And you can tell that I was wrong before I even get to the end of that sentence.
I already know it. Yeah.
I put little cubes of cheese I volunteered to bring protein. Tried to get sandwiches one time, turned into a huge clusterfuck of who paid for this, and somebody ate my sandwich. Okay, I'm not doing that again. So then, all right, well, maybe I'll bring some cheese. Everybody eats cheese. Because the other thing is, whatever protein you bring them has to be cooler, stable for 4 or 5 days.
Refrigerated.
Has to be able to sit out on a tent table in the heat for about an hour without getting gross. It has to be something they can eat quickly that's not going to turn in their stomach when they run back out on the field. So you're really limited to like turkey slices and some peanut butter.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of that shit. So I thought, you know what? Cheese can make it. Cheese can handle. We could try some cheese. So I cubed up some Colby Jack cheese, put them in individual plastic serving cups, kept them all ice cold, would take them out at the end of the game so they're still cold, put them on the thing. Everybody had their own little cups of cheese, so we're not sharing from the same COVID platter. I got it. I am great. I am a living genius of the universe.
Yeah.
And those fuckers used those cheeses like bullets and threw them every fucking where at each other to the point that the coach had to finally fucking say, "Knock it off, you act like a bunch of 10-year-olds." Yeah, and I'm like, there could not have been a more opposite effect than what I possibly wanted.
I thought you were a hero.
Then I'm picking up fucking janky ass cheese
with
on
grass
the turf
and dirt.
Yes, and just to throw it so people aren't stepping in it. I mean,
cleat.
I was the fucking supplier. I was the cheese drug dealer, and the plot thickens. So we scooped up all the remaining cheese, stopped serving it, threw it in the cooler for some ungodly reason, threw it in the car, closed the cooler, waited 5 days.
Oh, shit.
To retrieve the cooler from the trunk of the broken-ass glass windshield car.
Oh, yeah.
That some fool-ass punk from a losing team decides they're going to whoop up on. So when you open the cooler, when you're home.
Smell great.
I think the cooler may now be permanently ruined. I was in the garage.
Oh, no.
This was yesterday.
Tell me it's not a Yeti. Oh, my God. Yesterday? It's a week later.
I opened the cooler yesterday. It was the pretend Yeti. It was an Arctic, RTIC. So I unzipped it, and it's a pretty one. It's a nice color, and it's the right size. I unzipped it, and that's like med school cadaver factory. 4 days later with no air conditioning in Texas in April.
Oh, my God.
So I'm in the garage. After everything
Texas
was been removed from the garage, I finally got out the leaf blower just to get some air circulating in there. I got multiple masks on. I took those little Febreze tablets from the car and put them in the bike spokes just so that they could sit in the garage and fill the garage with that Febreze. Yeah. So, cheese. Why? Why is my family? Why can't I have cheese? Why can't I have good things? I just want some cheese.
Cheese is your best friend and your worst enemy all at the same time. How dare you turn on me, cheese? Ugh.
I'm just a fucking adult, and I can't have conversations with friends. I can't cut cheese. There's just simple things that I should have mastered by now. It makes me feel bad about myself because I also tried to be good. I had the best. idea. I was filled with love for these little kids. I put thought into it.
Yeah, I love it.
Specifically went to buy this cheese. The whole thing, it was a part of a plan that I had. And the plan itself
did not come
was the problem. So I feel like I've identified my whole life.
In one cheese story.
I am operating under the wrong plan.
Dear listener, have you ever had a plan that you knew was perfect and then wound up not only biting you in the ass, but then making your garage smell for the next 6 months?
Like dead whore's crack ass.
Ugh. I like the cadaver in Texas in August. Tell us about it. We'd love to hear.
No air conditioning, yeah.
With no air conditioning. Write us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, Brilliant Observations at Listen Brilliant, or Brillobs Squad as a select group of focus on Facebook. Also, I don't know, maybe Listen Brilliant on Twitter. You could find me on Peloton. You could find us if you would like to contribute to this podcast on Patreon. Look harder. Last week, we asked you to engage with us and share your thoughts. And we actually had somebody, tell me, Amy, we had some correspondence. I
was so excited. We've been increasing our listenership. We've been adding more listeners, which is really exciting. Lots of people are finding the show and getting excited. And we love all that, right? So it was so delightful to magically go onto Apple Podcasts and find a brand new review.
Yay!
From Mom of Three Things. And it's so good and it's short. I'm going to read it. It says, "You guys make me laugh. You make me tear up as I'm driving. You make me smile. But most of all, you make me realize that life is what you make of it. Your friendship is incredible. I look forward to conversations when you disagree with one another because you're both willing to listen to what the other has to say. I didn't know that was in there. We were doing that today." Amy and I have many things in common, including being outnumbered by the Y chromosomes in our houses. Melissa's adventures with the dogs and building a shore house make me appreciate my one dog and not building a second home. Thank you both for keeping it real. Thank you. Super great. That's what we want, peeps. That's all we want.
That was so
Somebody
lovely.
that said, "I see you. I see you." Yeah. I see you, cheese.
You do see us, and you relate to Amy, and you're so grateful you're not me. That's my favorite part of that. And that's fine, too. That's fine, too, because I couldn't handle all of those penises in my house.
No one can.
It's a lot of penis. Is that a drop? That's a lot of penis.
I gave you lots of time, so we got a nice front and back on that one, so you can cut it out clean. Yes.
All right, I
will. All
right,
guys, go to the socials, do all the clicking, find us, and we'll see you next week. We love you. Bye.
That's a lot of penis.